Okay, so let's get started very quickly with the concept. So, point number one, the Keto's compensation plan is not a single compensation plan, meaning it's not just one compensation plan. Actually, there are several compensation plans. From this slide, you can see that there are two, but in reality, there are a lot of bonuses that are completely sequential and logical. In fact, they are entirely sequential and logical. And when I show you later on a whiteboard how everything is connected when you enroll a new collaborator, it will be much, much easier for you to understand them. But there are just a few things you need to remember in order to always earn as much as possible from this compensation plan. In traditional network marketing, there's a rule, a law as old as time. Depth creates stability. Width creates big earnings. What does that mean? It means the more direct recruits you sign up. So let's look at the left side of this Uni Level 3 slide, which shows the number of people you personally enroll. The more direct recruits you have, the more people you sign up yourself, the greater your potential to earn a lot. Okay, so this is already something really important. In Keto's, just like in a traditional network marketing business, even though Keto's Global isn't a traditional network marketing business, it is still a network marketing business, okay? You earn more if you sponsor more direct recruits. So, the people who are in the most in the community will be those who personally enroll the highest number of people. Period, okay? So this is something you really need to keep in mind. But alongside that, the company also gives you the chance to earn a token, a percentage of what's generated in terms of revenue within what's called the matrix, okay, which is basically a separate compensation plan. Before I explain the matrix, let's get into the specifics, into the uni level. And here, I'd like someone to let me know, sign off, and tell me if you don't understand, if anything isn't clear, okay? The uni level plan works in a very simple way. There's David Cagnetta who signs up for this business, and all the people he personally introduces to Keto's Global will be considered David Cagnetta's direct referrals, okay? So they will be registered directly by David. Normally, just because David has sponsored these people, so he personally introduced them, David would normally earn 6% of the revenue generated by the membership. But what is the revenue from the membership? 100%. If I have a $100 membership, the revenue is $100. For a $1,000 membership, the revenue is $1,000. So the commissionable amount and the amount collected are the same. So as much money comes into the company, that same amount is counted as revenue in the network, okay? So you get 6% of the membership purchased by the collaborator or client you personally referred. Is that clear? Okay. During your first 90 days after signing up, and this is at least until August 25th, so for everyone who signs up until August, you'll have the chance to earn 12%, which is exactly double. Now, in your opinion, why do you think this is being done? There are two reasons, two things. The first is because it encourages you, during this pre-launch phase, to talk to as many people as possible right now, because what you do now compared to what you'll do from August onward will generally be paid half as much. In other words, what you do now gets paid twice as much as what you do from August or September onward, right? Okay. Secondly, because in network marketing activities, it's a rule as old as time. When someone signs up, their enthusiasm is high. So the results they can achieve in the first few days are significantly better than what they'll achieve from the second month onward. Because then comes the phase of awareness, but it's enthusiasm that gets you to sign up the most people. That's why they push and encourage you to get as many direct sign-ups as possible. Is this part clear? So if someone signs up with a $100 membership, we're talking about $12. If we're talking about $1,000, that's $120. If it's a $3,000 membership, that's $360. If it's a $6,000 membership, that's $720, and so on, all the way up to a $96,000 membership. which would basically earn the direct sponsor $11,520. Is that clear? Now, that's simply the concept. But is this bonus independent of the membership I choose? Yes. It doesn't matter which membership I used to join Ketos, whether it's $100, $3,000, $12,000, or even higher, or a founder pack. It doesn't matter. Basically, I received 12% in my first 90 days on all the memberships acquired by the direct members I personally enroll. Okay, so this applies to everyone who signs up directly under me. This already gives you a huge advantage because the amount of money generated doesn't have to wait for any approval. In fact, these are daily payments that can be withdrawn weekly, but you can see the results the very next day. So this means that I could potentially sign up Roberto, who starts with a $1,000 membership, and tomorrow night, if tomorrow is Friday, I could treat Roberto to dinner with his own money. It's a return from his membership. That's the main point. Is that clear? Payments are weekly, and the withdrawal day is Friday. Attention! Who can earn money? Only ambassadors, meaning those who have paid the $49 annual fee to sign up for the network activity, okay? This is very clear. But what about those who don't sign up? Well, honestly, I think everyone should sign up. I'll explain the reason to you as well. Because for just $49 a year, you have the chance to earn percentages from the matrix that's created, and the first two levels of the matrix, as you'll see, are completely free. So in my opinion, everyone should sign up, because it will speed up your earnings anyway. And remember, the goal for the average person, no matter what, is always to reach their break-even point. When someone starts this business, if they're an average person, not someone who's already entrepreneurially prepared, or a network leader, or someone with a long-term vision, but just an average person starting out, they'll ask themselves, okay, how much did it cost me to get started? $1,000. All right, how long will it take me to recoup that investment? Well, actually, pretty quickly. Because as soon as you bring someone in, right away we're talking about 12%. And then, of course, if they're placed within a parallel structure called a matrix, you'll earn additional percentages. First, I'll explain what the matrix is, and then I'll explain how the earnings from the matrix work. So, what is a forced matrix? The three-leg forced matrix is basically a tree structure where you can't have more than 3 blocks directly enrolled under you. So, while in the uni-level system, in the previous example, you could enroll unlimited people directly in the matrix. Out of all those unlimited people you've enrolled, only 3 can be placed on your first level. What is a level? A level is simply the position that a new distributor or a new collaborator takes in relation to you, okay? It doesn't determine your career. It doesn't determine your earnings. It simply sets the requirements on which you'll then earn, okay? So actually, if you are in the orange circle, this very nice lady in the orange circle, okay? You can sign up an unlimited number of people, but only 1, 2, and 3 will be on your first level. And the fourth? The fourth will end up underneath in one of the 3 organizations. Okay? Actually, a force matrix means that you can't choose the position where your new direct recruits will end up, because the forced matrix fills in the gaps in duplication. In other words, the algorithm works to support the spot of the weakest team member first, and then goes on to fill the stronger ones. Let's take a really practical example, okay? Let's say that the lady signed up these 3 blue people. These 3 blue people sign up the green ones, and the green ones sign up the fuchsia ones. At that point, the lady signs up her 4th direct recruit. Where will that person end up? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9? Under which number? In my opinion, it will end up under number 5, because that's the only one who has just 1 direct recruit. Or rather, it's the first one who has only one direct recruit. Okay. After that, of course, it's normal that the rest will get filled in, because the spillover that happens from those who are upline to those in their downline, upline above, downline below. So basically, whoever is higher up in the matrix ends up filling the gaps created by duplication. Let's see if there's already a first question. The closest one who has a direct. Sal, if you unmute yourself and tell me what you mean, maybe I can figure it out.
So from the beginning, there was a direct. There were two people who only had one direct. One direct.
Yes. So basically, starting from the left, the first one who has a direct.
So as close as possible from below, that's where the person gets placed.
Yes, the weakest spot starting from the left. So 2, 3, 3, 2, 1. This is the one that has 1, so it goes here. The second one goes to this other one that has 1. And then he'll go and start covering the 2. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And then it ends up affecting everyone else.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Who can do the spillover? The whole claim. So basically, it means that she can fill these gaps, and they can fill them too. And obviously, the greens can fill them as well because they're direct signups. But for them, it's not a spillover, it's a placement because it's their first level. Now, how is it structured? Let's take a look for a moment. So, when we say directs, we mean people who are directly enrolled, not just on the first level. Exactly, well done. So, for directs, when you see this chart, which might look like a math exam, once I explain it to you, it'll be easier, okay? Looking at this chart, directs refers to all the people you have personally added to your unilevel tree, both customers and ambassadors. Both of them, those with the 49 and those without the 49, even though, in my opinion, it's much more convenient for everyone to sign up for $49 because, as I was saying, since you can see that the requirement to earn on the first two levels of the matrix is basically zero. So a customer who signs up with $49 plus their membership will actually end up in a matrix tree that will be filled by spillover from the upline. It could be filled by spillover from the upline, so one way or another, it could be filled through duplication. Why do I say that? Over time, it will get filled anyway. Because the difference between what we've done up until now and this is that once you have a matrix that has started and there's this person here, okay, who has taken this position, now even if he slows down, stops, or does very little, these three spots will inevitably be filled by spillover from the upline if the upline wants to go deeper to their third level, if they want to go down to their fourth level, or even to their fifth level. Because this orange person, actually this is what a force matrix means, won't be able to enroll anyone on their fourth level as long as there's an empty spot on their third level. So this person can't go down into the matrix, and neither can the others actually go down into the matrix until the gaps from duplication are filled. So as someone generally signs up but doesn't sponsor anyone at first, the matrix bonus, which ranges from 4% to 2% on memberships from 50 to 12,000, and from 2% to 1% on memberships from 24,000 to 96,000, they'll get it regardless. Of course, guys, honestly, if you think you're going to become a millionaire just from the matrix bonus, you haven't understood a thing. Or rather, let's try to give an example. So what's the matrix bonus? What's 4% of $100? $4. And of $1,000? $40. Of $96,000? $96,000. For percent, we're talking about $3,840, but it's $96,000, the $3,940. And here too, there are some restrictions that I'll talk to you about later. But the matrix bonus still rewards those who are actively working in this business more, meaning those who bring in direct recruits and build deeper levels. Anyway, okay? If someone signs up only as a customer, will the matrix exclude them? No, it doesn't exclude them, Nando. It doesn't exclude them. But the most they can earn is from the 12 slots that are under them. 3 in the matrix and 12. Oh, wait, sorry. The question is that.
I guess what he means is if someone doesn't become an ambassador, you don't see them at all.
If they don't become an ambassador, you still see them in the matrix, but they won't be able to earn. You still see them in the matrix, but you don't. Because otherwise, matrix bonuses can't be assigned for that client who joins. He won't be able to earn. He's an idiot. It only gives away from the company, basically, in practice. All right? Now let's obviously talk about development, okay? When you see the number of downlines, it tells you the total number of collaborators there will be once that entire level is filled for you, the one who has the matrix. So you are the one. So you're at level 0, which starts this matrix, where you have 3 direct recruits who will be your 3 downlines. These 3 direct recruits will have 9 spots underneath them. Then there will be 27, and so on, up to 531,000. Guys, I get that 12 levels isn't infinite, so it's not earning forever, because there will always be someone who signs up at the 13th or 14th level. But believe me, filling up this matrix is a ton of money. Because in reality, that's a huge number of people. 797,160 clients or collaborators. That's a lot, really a lot, a lot, a lot, a lot. And that's exactly the goal, with your own direct recruits and the recruits of your recruits, to create a duplication that will allow you to reach these kinds of numbers. Now, what are the requirements to earn beyond the first 2 levels? 3rd level, you need to have at least 3 direct recruits with a total of $1,000 in membership sales. For the 4th level, 6 and 2,000, and so on up to 24 and 512,000. But is this sales volume the total sales of the entire organization? No. This sales volume is the uni-level sales volume, meaning all the direct recruits you personally sponsored plus your own membership. So this means that if I have 3 direct recruits who each bought a $300 membership, but I have a $1,000 membership myself, I still meet this requirement because I have $1,300 in sales. If I have 6 direct recruits where only myself and 1 other person have a $1,000 membership, and the other 5 have $100 memberships, I still meet this requirement. If I have 9 direct recruits who all got the $1,000 memberships, I have $9,000, so I've exceeded this requirement. I'm totally fine. Good job, Daniele, great question. For monthly recurring memberships, it's calculated on a monthly basis. For annual memberships, it's on a yearly basis, and for lifetime memberships, you never lose it. So which one is the smartest choice, Daniel? Lifetime. But damn, not everyone starts at 3,000. The goal of ketos, as I always say in the presentation, is to get people to upgrade. Guys, ketos, I really love it because it solves a structural problem that every successful networker faces when they achieve success for the first time. I'd never met anyone who made real money in network marketing who was able to save money at the beginning. Or rather, no one ever managed to save any money. And network marketing is a business that goes in waves, right? I mean, I go up, then I lose, then I go back up, then I fall again, because that's how life is, and that's how network marketing works. And when you start making money in network marketing, or when you start making money in life, it's hard to have the financial education to say, okay, I'll set this aside, I'll save this. Unless your name is Giagiove John Marcos Cacuzo, you're not able to save money right from the start. Okay, you just can't do it. But I didn't do it either. Ketos makes you do it automatically. because it requires you to upgrade your membership, since the higher your membership is, the more you earn in the network. So if you have the means, in the meantime, you raise your membership and set aside a bigger capital from trading. The goal, guys, is that over time all of us will have a $96,000 membership without actually buying it, but by upgrading step by step using the profits from the network and from trading. This is the main goal. Because let me give you a practical example. Imagine that from now to 10 years, but wait a second, let me answer you. It takes me 10 years, and I hope it lasts even longer, okay? So 10 years, okay? In 10 years, I put the membership at $96,000. Guys, after 10 years, even if there's nothing else, you have $2, $3, $4, $5,000 a month coming in automatically thanks to the profits generated by the cube. Those who are in 3D automatic mode. And even if you wanted to withdraw them after the freeze period, the lockup period, you'd have $67,200 that you can take out and that you would set aside. In some ways, it's lucky that I didn't cash out all the money I was supposed to on certain things. Because actually, if they ever do come in, they'll all come in at once, and it's something set aside. If I had gotten them, I would have spent them anyway, because that's just how it works. So, that lifetime is just once then. Well, actually, the matrix bonus, the direct bonus, all the bonuses you see are just one time, meaning they're only for the acquisition of the membership. Now, if we're talking about a recurring membership, every time the subscription renews, you get that bonus. But if we're talking about the lifetime membership, the lifetime only earns you once. But since I charge for the step from 1,000 to 3,000, then from 3,000 to 6,000, when I move from 3,000 to 6,000, my sponsor and my upline will still earn a percentage, which ranges from 4 to 2% on the 3,000 difference that I add at that moment. Every time there's an upgrade, the earnings repeat themselves, clear or not. Okay. Or if there's a subscription renewal, obviously this repeats. Why is the percentage lower for memberships from 24,000 to 96,000? Who can answer me logically? Who can logically explain to me why the percentage is lower from 24 to 96? Is it simply because the amounts are higher? I'll answer you. No, because in the memberships from 24 to 96, the percentage they give you in key token is higher. So the percentage that goes into trading is higher. It's not 50%, but from 60 to 70%, which means the commissionable amount is lower. Okay? Is this part clear? Now, having said that, even if you go and analyze the last two columns, those are obviously hypothetical earnings based on average memberships. So, considering that roughly from 112,000, this is an average membership of about $5,500, okay? As an average, but that's still a lot of money. If, we were talking about an average membership of $3,000, these earnings would simply be cut in half, and 46 million divided by 2 is still 23 million. If we were talking about an average membership of $1,000, which in my opinion is the target everyone should aim for when starting this type of business, and if you can't start with $1,000, you should set a deadline for when to upgrade, because guys, having the chance to pay $1,049 and then not worry about it until next year is an incredible peace of mind in the network. You have a whole year ahead of you to train, prepare, get in the right mindset, build, and most importantly, earn. That's really a lot of time. So even if we're talking about the $1,000 option, You just need to divide everything by 5. If you divide these earnings by 5, it basically means that when you fill up the membership, the matrix, you still end up taking home $10 million. This means with memberships of $1,000, guys. That's the idea. Is that clear? Now, having said that, I hope the concept of the matrix is clear, and especially the percentage of the matrix bonus. Pay attention, guys. One last important thing that also helps you understand why there will always be more upgrades in the memberships. Point number 1. The matrix bonus. The requirements you have for your structure will tend to increase. So when you pass your 15th live, your 7th level, so you have 15 direct referrals, you realize that 15 plus you make 16, and the $1,000 membership is enough. But when you reach the 8th level, and with 18 direct referrals you need to achieve $32,000 in revenue, you realize that if everyone, including you, has only purchased a $1,000 membership, you're at $19,000, but you needed $32,000. So someone will still need to have a higher membership. And why should they have it? Because the matrix bonus that you're going to receive is directly proportional to the membership you purchase. That means if I sign up Nando, right? And I have a $100 membership, but Nando gets a $1,000 membership, and he's my direct referral, so he ends up on my first level. I get 4% of $100, not $1,000, even though Nando got the $1,000 membership, because it matches my own membership. So, like we were saying before, if tomorrow morning I meet Mario Iacobelli and he decides to invest all the money he's saved up in his life and gets a $96,000 membership, I still get 4% of $100 if my membership is $100. I get the full 12% direct commission, which is $11,500, but instead of getting $3,800, which is 4% of $96,000, I only get 4% of $100, which is $4. Is that clear? Wow, so the company just pockets that money? No, they put it back into play. Because actually, if you add up the 34% plus the 12% direct commission, we're talking about 48% plus other bonuses that have an impact, which I'll show you in a bit, that add another 3 to 4%. You realize that half goes into trading and 99% of the earnings of the membership revenue gets distributed through the compensation plan. It gets given back. But how does the company manage to distribute all this money? Using. That was the first question I asked them. I said, this isn't sustainable, guys, because how does the company make money? Because I know the company puts in a lot of money to keep this going, to keep this thing afloat. How do you manage to pay out 99%? Because 50% goes into trading and the 49 and change ends up within the compensation plan. How do you do it? And he told me, point number 1, we don't just have the network as a source of income. So we have other external clients that allow us to make money. Point number 2, the company is the main code holder of the matrix, so they collect money from the compensation plan. Point number 3, another important thing, besides external clients, we also have other income streams within the business. Sponsorships from the broker on K-Room, the possibility to earn percentages from commissions through Bridge, because Ketos owns 21% of Bridge, and all the other services are internal services. They are proprietary services. Point number 4, these are truly internal services, so they are proprietary services, which means they don't have to pay third parties to have these services. They simply need to generate enough revenue to cover the maintenance costs of these services. But if, as we said, they've had external clients for years now for the services we're talking about, well, guys, they've already reached their break-even point. That's why they can afford to pay so much within the compensation plan. Now,